fine. I'm sorry.
One without a power switch.
Yippee!
I guess I'll just have to be loud, huh?
What?
You sound good loud.
Huh? What? Huh? Yeah? Well, for whatever it's worth, I got a new sex toy. Now, you know something? A statement like that evokes a slightly different reaction depending on the person that says it to you. Like if it's your grandmother and they make that statement, good for you. You can just sit there and continue to sip your tea and go, that's nice, Nana, but inside you're like, Jesus Christ! Now, my reason for saying it is mainly because I figured something like that right out of the box would tell everybody, you know what, hey, he's not going to stand up there with the puppet and go, all freaking out. But there is a reason for that. I'll tell you what it is. It's cute when the puppet does it, but there's no real way to work that into a real-life situation without looking like an asshole. I'll tell you. Like, take a public situation. If I'm in the middle of Toys R Us and all of a sudden I like that, kids will take off like Barney the dinosaur just showed up with a strap on. You can't work it into a public situation either. You know, like, everybody, open your Bibles to page 432. And start reading, and the Lord said, "Oh, that son of a bitch! Must be a freaking Scientologist." And you know something? That noise is not a leg spreader. In your most intimate moments, you can have whined, you can have dined, and you can have lied, and gotten into that magic point in time where somebody's banging on the door to the bathroom stall going, when the hell are you two getting out of there? And all of a sudden, you're really getting into it. You're like, this is the best thing. God, I love you. Your failure will be on Twitter. Got your pants up. And you know what else? They will ban you from a Steak and Shake for that. And that's why I've got a new sex toy. Good evening.
Good evening. Hey.
So Anthrocon 2010, huh? This is a testament to longevity. I never in a million years would have thought the Westin would have lasted this long. I mean, and I got to stop here for a moment. I had some material I had written about, you know, I like to work the con that I'm in and other things into what I do. And the problem is, I made some jokes about registration, and they were just too fucking good. Because I made these jokes about, you know, I got here yesterday and I flew in and registration was so quick, I got down here in time to take a shit. But no, what happened was I went and I even had a friend that didn't pre-register. Here's a lesson for you. They didn't, and the line is like people lining up for the new iPhone. I pre-registered and I go in and I'm like, where do I go to get my badge? And they're like, oh, here you go. If you want to be technical, the badge came faster than I ever have. I'm the guy that can go from 0 to roll over and go to sleep and piss her off in 60 seconds. The badge was in my hand in a minute and a half. I could have gotten 2 badges and a couple of hand jobs by that time. So that joke was shot to hell. But I will say this, the registration after all the years that we've been doing this here at Anthrocon, and the fact that every year it grows and grows like Rosie O'Donnell's ass out of the crowd, and they just get better and better. I mean, the registration even brings in costumed mascots to keep your mind off the fact you want to kill the motherfucker that's in line in front of you, because he's in front of you. Now, here at a place like this, Mickey Mouse is a bit more anatomically correct than I'm kind of comfortable with. But you know, it's one of those lessons in life. No matter how hard you try and no matter how much you work, Mickey will always have a bigger dong than you do. I learned this when I was 6. But Anthrocon really is batting 1,000. Which is something I'm sure the Mets would love to say. I don't know anything about sports, but I did see all the Twitters that these people did, and the biggest thing I read was, we were disturbed by what was going on at this convention. I'm like, really? Look, if you're a sports team and you've got a mascot called Mr. Met, that is basically a walking inflamed, stitched up testicle, like an STV film from educational, purposes in school. Winnie the Pooh crossing the lobby isn't really, scary. But it's 2010. And I'm glad it's finally 2010. For a number of reasons. Like the soundboard call. Okay, I appreciate you trying. Guys, technical problems happen, and these guys do go out of the way to try to fix and work with everything, and the staff here really does deserve a hand. I said we would be deported or anything, but 2010. If you sit back and you think about it, your parents, hell, maybe some of your grandparents, they never thought we'd make it this far. Look at the media, the stuff we grew up on. By 1999, 2000, or worse, 2001, we either would have blown the moon out of orbit, and the rest of humanity would have been saved by really bad British actors with Lego models flying around and stuff, or we would have been taken over by apes or communists or aliens, which Arizona still seems to think might be a problem. Or we would have just, skipped off happily into the nuclear winter and just nuked us all from orbit. But it's 2010 and we're here. And unlike what our parents thought, we didn't get bombed out of existence, at least until Sunday when the dead dog party started. But 2010. Now, the reason I really love this year is because it's been decades since this has happened. But we finally have a cool year to say. 2010 or 2010. It sounds like a cool sci-fi intro, like the new Battlestar Galactica without the Daggett. It's, in 2010, a group descended on Pittsburgh to spread fun and joy and lasagna wraps. And I do expect a t-shirt from Fernando's for that. But the thing is, the other years, they had a bit of pussification and a bit of wimpiness to them. It started with the 80s. The 80s were like really mild and neon. It's 88, and it's 89, it's 83, but we didn't care because the music was fun, and it was all about getting laid and driving fast and, partying and everything else. And you could, this is weird, you could dress and have the hairstyle like a mullet of Daryl Hall and be the manliest thing since John Wayne swaggered on stage and kissed his horse. Back in the 80s, a guy could dress in high heels and tight pants and makeup and not be considered to be gay or a slut. He was probably in the band Poison. And it was good times all over. You had Cheesy TV, you had Knight Rider, and you had this was when video games actually started to get good, and you could look at the screen for your old Nintendo systems and think to yourself, that almost looks like a boob!